Welcome to Fringe Fanatics with Chad Lee and Chris Zane.
And we are back once again. This is Fringe Fanatics. As always, I am Chris Zane.
And I'm Chad Lee. Thanks for tuning in.
Yes, thank you guys, as always, for tuning in each and every week. However you tune in or listen to us, as always, please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button so you get those notifications. And don't forget to rate us 5 stars because we all know you love us. So let's get into it this week, Chad Lee. How was your weekend?
The weekend was pretty good, man. We didn't do a whole lot. We did go shopping where I ran into Burke. That was pretty crazy.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Kevin Burke.
Yeah, I had to get some clothes for this upcoming trip to Mexico.
Yeah, did you get your Tommy Bahama shirt?
I didn't. I wish. There wasn't a Tommy Bahama store around.
That's just because you didn't look hard enough.
No,
you
dude,
can
all I
always
cared
find
about
Tommy Bahama.
Was college football, and I was up there at the Thornton outlets where there is zero reception.
I'm sorry, Chad. You mean the Denver outlets?
No, it's in Thornton.
It's the Denver outlets, though.
Okay.
I don't know why. I wish I knew
yeah.
the answer to that.
But
yeah, it's in Thornton, but yeah.
I almost wanted to turn my phone on to a hotspot before I went because I know that
there's
spot
no service there.
There's zero service. All you could do is try to get Wi-Fi in one of the stores.
Oh.
And
I mean, I used to live over, like, not too far from there, but I guess right there is a barren wasteland.
No, there's a lot of people around there. I don't know what it is, but yeah, there's a lot of good college football games going on. I was fucking missing out on it. But
God damn it.
Yeah, but we did find a new house. That was really exciting. Yeah, so we signed
I got to help you move again
yesterday. Yes, you do.
Oh, you signed the lease. The deed is done.
It is official, man.
Official.
Yep.
Officially official.
Yeah, it's happening. But
oh my wow.
Yeah, aren't you? Don't you feel privileged to help us move twice?
Yeah, to move all your shit. Yeah, not even 6 months. Dude. Did we make it 6 months?
Just a little over 6. Just a little over.
Oh man,
it's about 7.
Oh okay.
Yeah, we moved in April, so yeah.
Yeah,
end of November. It sucks, man, but yeah, it is what it is.
No, yeah, we gotta get done. And it's right in the neighborhood again.
Yeah,
so
5 minutes away.
It's not like I gotta move stuff too far.
We're just shuffling.
You've basically moved,
house.
From like one area to the next in the same neighborhood. So you
hopefully
found a place you like to live. So.
We're gonna stick there for the next 18 months. So
that'd be nice. 18-month lease.
Yep,
that's a strange number.
Yeah, that's what they signed up. That's what he made for us. So that's what we're gonna do. Well, because it kind of works out too, because we're still planning on moving to Kansas City. So no, we don't have to push that out as far.
Yeah, for sure.
But what about you, man? How was your weekend?
That's cool. My weekend wasn't too bad. I was dog sitting at my parents' house, so I was doing that. Didn't really do too much.
Did you stay in your old room?
No. I actually slept in my parents' bed, which was a little bit weird, but it was just to make the dog more comfortable because she's fucking neurotic. So.
Whoa, you slept in your parents' bed?
Yeah.
Damn, dude, I could never do that.
It wasn't that weird. They also have a purple bed, so I wanted to try that out.
A purple bed?
Yeah, don't you guys have one of those?
What are you talking about? It's
the purple mattress.
I don't know what brand it is, but it's a memory foam mattress.
Oh.
Is that what you're talking about?
I thought you had like one of those purple ones.
I don't know what that is.
You just have a memory foam mattress?
Yeah, it's just like a memory foam thing.
I guess the purple mattress is like a brand. I don't know. But a lot of people are like, oh, they're super cool. I didn't really like it, but, I don't know.
We need firm mattresses for our backs, dude.
Apparently. I guess I just need to sleep on, like, just on the floor.
Dude, I envy the slaves back in the day that, like, built the pyramids.
I don't know if that's
That's what I'm talking about.
Say. Yeah, I envied the slaves who had to work till they died.
But, I mean, I'm telling you.
We're basically
they didn't have mattresses. They didn't have Casper or anything like that. They had a slab of rock.
Yeah.
And that's what I need right now, basically.
Yeah.
You know what I started to do for my sciatica? I put towels where my lower back's at. Because I started doing research on what to do with, like, and it's either you go spend fucking $2,000 on a mattress where you can have one side soft for Hannah and one side firm for me. So I was like, fuck this, what can I do?
And then you can get the one that raises up.
Yeah.
For snoring.
Eventually,
and
that's
stuff.
what we're going to have to do. Yeah. But, yeah.
Yeah, at some point. So, yeah, that was a little strange being back over there, but it wasn't, too weird. But
that's cool.
we did the thing. I
Nice.
babysat their crazy dog.
Yeah.
My sister, a.k.a.,
Yeah, pretty much.
my little sister.
Well, that's awesome, man.
Yeah,
But the parents were happy about that. Where'd they go?
They went to Utah, out where Alex hangs out and lives, to see my sister and the family.
Oh, I see.
One of my nieces just had another baby. Well, had her first baby, but another grandchild for my parents who are like in the 20s, close to the 30s now in terms of grandchildren.
Huge family.
Yeah,
Nice.
we got a lot of kids making more kids, so know. What are you gonna do?
Procreation.
Yeah, dude.
Procreation, man.
Apparently,
Yeah.
and science works.
Yeah. Biology.
Yeah. Biology.
Well, before we get started, I do want to give a shout out to Travis for not starting the Ravens defense, who is the number 1 ranked defense in the NFL. Don't know why you didn't start him, but I do appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Much love, brother.
Yeah, I got a little contentious last night. I was waiting for a back and forth.
I know, nothing happened, man.
But it is what it is. Yeah, I beat up on Josh from work again, and he wasn't too happy about that. He also just sent me an insane trade. Let me just show you. Well, I'll just let you see it because that'll be faster than me telling it to you. But
he does send some wild ones.
yeah, this one's pretty wild. It's I think it's 5 or 6 guys.
Jesus. Trading the whole squad?
Yeah, basically, dude. Let's see here. He might have taken it away. No, that's what he wants to do.
Oh my God. Jamar Chase, Addison, Flowers. That's wild. I mean, it's almost like too much to kind of like calculate.
Yeah. And there's a lot of things that, and he only gave me, I have like 6 hours. This is on a because like we told you, you can say.
Yeah.
I actually got a thing saying this is an explosive trade proposal because it's going to end in 8 hours.
Yeah, it's going to blow. There's
so
a time
I got a
bomb
countdown. Josh, I'll let you know on that. I'm not entirely sure yet. I doubt that's going to happen. But yeah, that's quite the trade proposal.
Well, he's been climbing up in the Smalley League. He's up there now in the rankings.
Oh, is he?
Good, yeah.
He's pulled back in.
He's trying to make desperate moves in this one.
Well, we've 2 things we forgot to mention. It is episode 59.
It is. Mr. Jack Ham.
Yeah, Mr. Jack Ham, Hall of Fame linebacker. Jack Ham played all 12 seasons of his career with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And if anybody hasn't ever heard of Jack Ham, it's because of the other Jack Lambert.
Yeah, which also number 58 as well. But yeah, Jack Ham won 4 Super Bowls with the Steelers and was named to the Pro Bowl 8 times. He was also named to the NFL's 75th all anniversary team, so all-time team. So
when I was looking into it, it kind of seems to me he's like a Terrell Suggs to the Ray Lewis. He was an amazing linebacker, Hall of Fame linebacker, but all everybody remembers is Jack Lambert. What's he doing?
I just spilled on Little Man's head a little bit somehow. I don't know.
He's going to be licking some mics off his head.
That's all right. He's happy.
Dude, I went through and watched his highlights, man. 32 interceptions in 12 years.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot of interceptions for
basically a linebacker. Yeah.
He obviously 4-time Super Bowl champ because he played with the Steelers during the 70s. And Chuck Noll once said he's the fastest player for 10 yards, including wide receivers and running backs.
Really?
So he had that explosive speed. And there was another player, I can't remember the one that mentioned it, but they said that this guy is one of the most intelligent players. And you can see watching his highlights. If no one's aware of Jack Ham, go through and watch. He was a part of that steel curtain, and he's just picking off passes left and right. So,
yeah. So big ups to Mr. Jack Ham. Thank you for being the 59th episode player
honoree
of the well, I guess I don't know what we'd call it.
Honorary player of the
episode number 59, best number 59.
All of it works, man.
He's the all-time number 59. So let's cheers this. I do have one more thing to say before we get going, but let's cheers right now.
All right, cheers.
Cheers, man.
Episode 59.
Episode 59. Thank you
all.
Rolling.
You guys are still listening.
We have a show out Saturday.
You do?
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of this. Are you sure it's not going to get canceled?
It's not going to get canceled this time. It's indoors. It's not snowing. So
That's good.
we will be playing this show. It almost actually, now that you say that, it almost did get canceled. Kind of. So the headlining band, Fast Eddie, another big Denver heavy hitter rock and roll band, was doing their new single release that's going to be coming off their new album. It's called, the name of the single, Spirit Commander. But they set this party up. We were supposed to, be the Lucky Pierre band in the middle slot.
Yeah.
And, kind of get the crowd, keep it going for them. But unfortunately, their drummer was just diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer.
Holy shit, what?
Well, it wasn't he's known about it for a little bit, but he just kind of went public with it.
See.
So the thing that sucks, though, is that he was supposed to get... it's the whole thing sucks entirely, but he was supposed to already be on chemo, but they pushed it back. So now he just got his first round of chemo today, and they're just like, dude, there's no way we can play. So that's a super big bummer, but the show must go on, and we have turned it into a benefit show for him. So
that's awesome.
Us and the other band, Flight Kamikaze, us being the Born Readies, will be playing at the Crypt in Denver. It's down off 17th. It's like 1618 17th Avenue is the address.
The Crypt.
The Crypt. It is a cool little bar. Some of the people from, God damn it, from another bar that closed down due to COVID, opened up this bar. So it's a pretty cool place. We will be playing there, and all proceeds will go to Arj, the drummer from Fast Eddie, and we will also just, be having a good time and, trying to get as much as we can for him, because that's a lot to deal with.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I wish him all the best, and I hope everybody comes and shows up.
Yeah, definitely. Anybody who can. I think tickets.
I will be in Mexico, where I would definitely be.
No, that's fine. Oh, that's crazy. That's this weekend.
Yeah, it is this weekend.
$10 is what it's going to be, so it's not too bad.
I spend more on that when I buy a sandwich.
That's true. And so all the proceeds will go to him, and there's also a GoFundMe set up for him, so you can donate there as well. But just come out, have a good time, and let's do something good for somebody who's a big part of the Denver music scene. So,
fantastic, man. Awesome.
Fan-fucking-tastic. So we'll be at the Crypt Saturday, 11/11. Other than that, that's all I have. We did the leadoff shot. Let's get into the headlines.
Let's do it, man.
Coming at you right now.
Headlines! Get your headlines here!
That's right. It's time for headlines. And as always, we are going to start with the NFL. Chad, what would you like to hear today?
Surprise me.
All right, we're going to go with this one.
Need the ball.
Get me the ball.
Get you the ball.
Are you gonna get me the ball? I'll get you the ball!
It's me pumped up, man.
I hope he doesn't kill somebody.
That's probably we're gonna have to do this one of these days when we're slow. Just like figure out the best football movies. The Replacements is up there, man.
Yeah, definitely. It's a very good one. Plus, also has Keanu Reeves. They turned that one down. It gets a little loud. It's aggressive.
Yeah, it changes volume. It changes up a little bit.
Yeah,
that's
gets
when
aggressive there at the end.
Jon Favreau is just wrecking people.
Yeah, but yeah, Keanu Reeves is in that movie. Who else? Gene Hackman. Yeah, I almost call him James Caan. Also,
I saw something the other day that this is what we do all the time. I start getting into fucking tangents, but he stopped acting for like 15 years to raise his son
kid.
Scott.
Yeah,
he was in a bunch of fucking
Scott Conn
movies.
Yeah,
can't think of it right now, but they were famous. Ready to Rumble, dude.
Ready to Rumble.
That was a hilarious movie.
Also, the crappy remake of Hawaii Five-0. I think
he was a big part of that. Yeah.
All right, well, let's get into the NFL Week 9 and notable injuries. There was a few.
Quite a bit.
Yeah, we had Daniel Jones, ACL, done for the year. So they just signed him to a big deal, $40-some million.
He's guaranteed to make $35 25 next year.
And this might be the last snap he takes as a Giant. I think they might end up eating some of that and just go in a different direction. I
don't know, man. We'll have to see.
You might as well keep him.
Draft somebody.
Yeah,
they could draft somebody.
I think this is the last meaningful snaps he's taken.
Yeah,
for the
it's
Giants,
crazy too because he's taken a lot of sacks this year, but it wasn't even due to him getting hit. He just did a backdrop, and then whenever he planted his back foot,
I thought he got hurt on the drive before.
Oh, really?
I think so. And then they looked at him, and I think he just went back out there. And then the next drop back, he planted, and he buckled. So
I think I remember seeing something.
Bummer for him. He is done for the year. Give us another one, Chad.
Another guy that's done for the year, and the second time he's torn his Achilles is Cam Akers.
Oh, really? We're going to talk about another person who's done that twice here in a little bit, but that's crazy. I did not realize that he had tore both his Achilles.
Just got to the Vikings, too. Yeah, because he did it when he was with the Rams just a couple of years ago, I think.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that's a bummer.
Go ahead with the next one.
Yeah, KJ Osborne ended up getting carted off. I will talk about this a little bit more later when I deep dive the Vikings game, but he's got a concussion, so he will be in concussion protocol. I haven't heard yet if there's been an update, given the fact that it's Tuesday. We're recording on time again. We don't know yet where he is at, so give us another one, Chad.
All right, Packers, Kenny Clark. It's a big deal here. It was a shoulder. He did not return that game. He's their best defensive lineman, along with Rashawn Gary. But Kenny Clark is a big run stuffer, so they need him.
Another Packer, Christian Watson, ended up leaving that game with they thought it was chest and back issues. I mean, it's borderline NHL injury update here, but we got chest, back, and concussion now. They said after the game he was suffering from a concussion as well. So, he's got a lot going on. So hopefully they narrow that down.
Oh, yeah.
Well, give us another one.
Texans safety, Jimmy Ward, their big star safety. He left with a hamstring, did not return to that game. And then their kicker, which we'll get into a little bit later in my deep dive, but Kaimi Fairbairn. It's always a rough one when you lose your kicker because you don't place another one on the roster. There's only one.
No, they did have one. Are you going to go? You're going to touch on that, though,
Yeah,
right?
I'll touch on a little deep dive. We'll just give a little preview here. But he left with a quad injury.
And then Dare Ogunbowale.
Nice job.
Entered into emergency kicking duties.
Yeah,
and actually played an important role in them winning this game.
Very much so. Third string running back there.
Yeah, third string running back. I don't think he actually logged any plays in the game other than kicking.
Yeah, I don't
think
so.
He touched the ball or anything.
He did a kickoff. I think a couple of kickoffs.
Yeah, I heard a couple. I heard they went into the end zone, so he's got a leg on him. So.
Yeah,
it's
pretty
not
like cool.
What's his name? Reed, right?
Justin Reed.
Yeah,
he kicked some extra points.
Yeah, so.
All right, give me another one.
Now let's get you one right now. We're going to move into some offensive, tackles here. Jedrick Wills for the Browns knee. After returning from a first half injury, he ends up getting carted off later in the game. Had an air cast after a collision with running back Kareem Hunt. That sounds like Kareem kind of got whipped into his leg. He has multiple sprains, one to his PCL, which they're considering a low-grade sprain, and then the next one is an MCL, and that is a high-grade sprain, and he also has multiple bone bruises. So he is definitely going to miss some time, and that is a definite big blow for the Browns, who, we're still trying to figure out what's going on with the Browns.
Yeah, I mean, they had a good win the other day. Their defense looks
they've been up and down, though. You got to have your starting quarterback playing all the time.
Well, I can't wait for this week because they play Baltimore, so that'll be a damn good game.
Yeah, it should be a good AFC North showdown.
Oh, yeah. Right now, as the playoff seeding stand, if the playoffs were to start right now, all four teams in the AFC North would
I heard him talking about that today. It'd be the first time that's ever happened, so
crazy,
that'd be pretty wild.
Yeah, but let's get to another one. This is one that was guy that was already injured before Sunday, but they placed him on IR, Josh Palmer. Chargers are already without Mike Williams. Now Josh Palmer's out for at least 4 weeks. So they're going to be relying on their rookie Quentin Johnston now.
Yeah, if he's still available on the waiver wire, you better go get him because he's going to get some good runs here in the next couple weeks. So
Yep.
I mean, I got one more for Miami, who's got a little bit of a injury bug going around with their offensive lineman. Robert Jones, Miami's offensive tackle, got a knee injury, ended up leaving the game. Miami now has 3 veteran offensive linemen banged up, one of which is on IR, which I think is Isaiah
that Robert
Wynn.
Jones was replacing the starter.
Yeah.
And that was a game where Teron Armstead came, that was, I think, maybe a second game back. But, yeah, I mean, that's clutch for him to be in there. But then they lose other linemen that just doesn't do anybody any good.
And they didn't look that good against the Chiefs, and they haven't looked good the last couple weeks. So.
I mean, they were moving the ball in that second half. But once that guy got hurt, man, I think that was the missing link there. We got some pressure after that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's all I have for injuries.
Did you cover Goddard?
Oh shit! I did.
Yeah,
I
broke
skipped
his
that
fucking
one.
arm,
yeah,
dude.
Shit.
Yeah,
we jumped around a little bit. Yeah, Dallas Goedert fractured forearm, will miss time. Probably gonna go on IR.
I would imagine so.
I don't think it's like I don't think his arm like broke in half, but he's got a fracture.
A football expert, but the last I checked, you need your arm to catch the ball.
You don't.
Okay, unless you're fucking Randy Moss or Odell.
Dude, you don't need your forearm to catch the ball. You need your hands. We've seen plenty of defensive guys play with fucking clubs.
Yeah, they're defensive.
Granted,
guys.
They're not catching, but
all
it's
they
your
do
forearm.
Club somebody.
Just put a cast on it. This
and then
still
just
works.
Leave this up, yeah.
And then you can use that to get separation.
Until it fractures again. Well, we got a couple other news to hit in the NFL where Carson Wentz got a job today.
He's got a job again.
Yeah.
Former second overall pick. Carson Wentz with the Eagles, now just hanging out, not doing much, just waiting for something to happen, and something did happen. We mentioned it last week. Matt Stafford sprains his ulnar ligament in his thumb.
UCL. You could say UCL.
Ulnar collateral ligament or something.
Not a doctor.
I can be if I think about it. I stayed at a Holiday Inn Express last night, so anything is possible. But yeah, so he's got a job again. The Rams sign him today after cutting Brett Rippon, former Broncos quarterback.
He looked horrible.
He did not look very good. Had an interception, only like 100 some yards. I think it was like 186 or something like that. Did not look that good, so he's done, and Wentz gets to fall into a backup role now. So
another quarterback that gets some starting reps again, Kyler Murray.
Yeah,
he's back.
It's very peculiar.
I wonder if he's mad he doesn't get a game while he's healing anymore. He has to go play football.
Well, it's funny you say that, Chad, because the game of which they probably put that clause into his contract has a new version releasing this week. Call of Duty has a new version coming out, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3.
Well, then expect news tomorrow that Murray's, my knee's still hurting.
He's like, it came up tight. He's like, don't worry, my thumbs are great, but I got a hammy.
You might need to put me on IR.
So we'll see how that works out, if he actually plays, and then, how much time he actually spends in the playbook, considering there is a new Call of Duty out. So
nice. All right. Yeah. Let's get into some NBA.
Let's do it. It's time for the NBA. Take it roll. There's a lot of good NBA movies, or just basketball movies.
Yeah. It'd be tough to rank them.
But I'm just saying we can also...
Yeah.
This one's great.
Well, that's what gave me the idea with the replacements. I was like, I need to start looking through these.
Yeah, we got a deep dive into the NBA movie. I mean, Hoosiers would be great for college basketball. I'm sure there's something great in there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's
Gene
time.
Hackman again.
Yeah, Gene Hackman again.
Yeah,
dude, he's in all the good sports movies.
That's right.
Well, let's get into it.
Yeah,
Udonis Haslem. That's gonna start there. We're gonna start with Udonis. He just can't quit the Heat, man.
No, and
can't do it.
The Heat don't want to quit him. They let him sit on the bench for like 3 or 4 years when he had played 19 years or something. 20 years.
And
he was just a veteran presence.
Yeah.
And man, was he ever a veteran presence.
Yeah, that last year, I don't know, when they made it all the way to the finals against the Nuggets, I'm trying to think of how much time he actually played. It couldn't have been that much.
Oh,
I
no,
think
he
maybe
never...
He probably played 20 minutes total all season.
Oh, I doubt that. There's times they were blowing teams out, and the crowd would be chanting,
Udonis.
But they, still didn't put him in. But, yeah, he's more of just almost a coach. So it's really cool to see him still involved with the team.
He's returning now as an executive.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So he's a lifer for the Heat. He is now the new vice president of player development merely 5 months after retiring, as we just mentioned, from his 20-year career playing with the Heat, which is insane.
That's admirable.
It's a cut rate John Elway right now.
Yeah.
You know,
Pretty
play
much.
with one team forever, and then now you're in the front office.
That's a lot of players' dreams.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of these guys now are talking about owning teams. You got, these guys coming out of college wanting ownership stakes.
Let me own it before I even take a snap.
Yeah, I want a piece,
Yeah.
We all do. So that's some good news in the NBA there,
Now to give you the NBA season's kicked off. We're already 7 games into it. It's 8 games into some.
Yeah.
And the Sixers have won 5 straight as Embiid scores 48 against the Wizards the other night.
Embiid.
They are playing pretty good ever
we'll
since
see what's
they
gonna
traded
happen.
Harden.
Yeah, now that they don't have Harden just cancering up the locker room.
Yep. Well, then just last night, James Harden got his debut for the Clippers, and they lost to the Knicks.
Yeah, and it was it wasn't a terrible outing. He does go 6 of 9 for 17 points in 30 minutes. He does come out afterwards and claim that the possibilities are unlimited after seeing the starting group on the floor for the first time.
There's only one way to say
in a
that
loss.
word. Unlimited.
Unlimited.
That's right. Yeah, we'll just see where they end up putting him. If Russ is going to play with the second unit, if Harden's going to, but it seems like it's going to take a little bit to.
It
work
sounds
in
like
all of those.
Russ is going to be the main point guard.
Yeah.
From what I've heard and from what we've seen so far, he is going to be the guy with the ball, dribbling down the court.
It would be hilarious if James Harden has to come off the bench for a guy who says he is the system.
Yeah, I don't. Systems don't bend to me. I am it.
That's the most wild thing I've heard all year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe at one point that was the case, but I don't know about it anymore.
Not anymore. Well, then in other news, the Celtics finally lose, and they lost to the Timberwolves, and big thanks to Anthony Edwards, who had 38 points last night.
Yeah,
this
Mr.
is a team
Anthony Edwards
that also beat the Nuggets just last week, pretty handily too.
A lot of people are saying that's the first time the Nuggets didn't wear suits and go all business-like into a game because it was Halloween night or right before Halloween. I can't remember when that game actually was.
I think it was close to it, something like that. I can't remember.
But that was the night they all dressed up, and DeAndre Jordan was Taylor Swift.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That was Did you see Wemby as Slender Man?
Yeah, it looked exactly like him.
That was fucking creepy, man. That was really creepy.
I mean, that guy looks creepy just as a human being existing. So
no
see him in it.
Did you see what Jokic had to say about it? He didn't really like all the dressing up thing. He was just
they're like, man. What are you gonna dress up? He's like, no.
Yeah. No. Not entertaining
Speaking
at all.
of which, let's get into the Nuggets a little bit right now.
Let's hit it.
You hit it. You've got a little bit more on it than I do.
Well, we're going to rewind back to last Friday night where they had a big win. The Mavs were 4-0 going into this game. This was the first game of the in-season tournament. Take that as you want.
Yep.
But the Nuggets get their first complete game from everyone. And I say that because there's always a game where they may win, where maybe MPJ doesn't have a good game, or maybe KCP doesn't. But in this game, every single person just showed out. I think there was 4 guys that had 20 points.
Yeah, and like you just mentioned, MPJ, one of them, but not just what he did on the offensive side of things. It was what he did to, God damn it, no,
Doncic?
Yeah, Luka Doncic.
Yeah,
God damn it. He ends up holding him to 5 points. This is all while guarding him. I think he had 5 turnovers. And MPJ had 0 fouls, so he basically shut down Doncic, and which is something we've been waiting for to see. Can he just start being productive on both sides of the ball?
Yep.
And we've seen that now, not only in this game, but in the Bulls game Saturday night, which you wanted to mention, and last night, which we'll mention as well here shortly.
It just kept rolling on. The next day, they played the Bulls on Saturday. Easy win, really wasn't any struggle there. They kind of were close around halftime, and just like last night, they pulled away and blew them out. And then last night, they played the Pelicans, who have a good team, even though CJ McCollum, I didn't realize this till yesterday on PTI, he has a collapsed lung.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Is everything okay over there?
No, I hit something. So
Okay,
we're
cool.
fine.
Yeah, no worries.
Just a noise.
Yeah. But in the past like 3 or 4 games, MPJ's been getting assists. And if you take a look at this is coming from Zach By. I appreciate the heads up. I mean, when I was listening to his podcast,
Shout us out, Zach By.
Yeah, always stealing our stuff.
Son of a gun.
The fact that you could look at last year's box scores, and there are so many games where MPJ has a goose egg in the assist column, and he's been getting at least 1 in these games. And I mean, he's been getting offensive rebounds more often. And then just last night, he had his season high so far. It was like 23 points, 24.
Yeah, I think it was
something
last
like
night.
That.
Yeah, and 9 rebounds and.
Yep.
Yeah, I have it pulled up right here actually. So let me tell
But
you.
He had a damn good game. And then before we get to our MVP, we're going to touch on Julian Strother, the Nuggets rookie that they drafted just this last year. This guy went nuts. 21 points, 5 threes, and I just heard something that was crazy, that it is an NBA record that he broke, which is having at least 20 points and 5 threes in 20 minutes as a rookie.
Yeah.
Never happened before.
It was nice to see, and it's not only that, man. This team now is so much deeper, and we were talking about it the other night. Like, I think this team is better than the team that just won it. You've got Peyton Swatson, if
That's
you will,
him,
because this dude is just blocking everything. He's got incredible length, and he's got energy, which is something the bench has been missing. And now we're seeing it where, in last year, even when they won everything, the bench would come in, and it's just like, can they survive until Jokic comes back? Can you just keep a lead?
Yeah, this sums it up pretty well. Where there's a lot of games, let's just say, for example, they were up by 10, okay? It's a decent lead, not super comfortable. Jokic has got to get a break. All right, damn, fuck. Well, the bench comes in.
2 minutes is all you got, man. That's all they can survive.
They do. They normally give him a break for 3.5, 4 minutes. The bench comes in, and then the lead dwindles down to maybe 4. All right? Then Jokic comes back in, and then they just spank him. Well, this year, it's totally different, man. Christian Brown in there, I mean, he provides a spark like we saw at the end of last year. But, we didn't get to see him really play a lot of minutes until
the very end of the season.
Yeah, right after the All-Star break, basically. But now, I mean, this team, I totally agree. It's deeper than ever.
Yeah, and unfortunately right now, with Murray probably being out now, they're saying for an extended amount of time. It could be weeks, which I would rather just shut him down now. What's the point? Don't rush him back. It is what it is. You need to figure out right now what these guys got, and this is the perfect way to go. You got Colin Gillespie coming in.
I was just about to say that name.
I didn't even know that guy was on the team. I kept seeing him in pictures, and I was like, who the hell is that little white guy?
He's tiny, man.
Yeah. Next thing I know, last night he's in the game, and I'm like, oh, shit, look at this guy go.
Yeah.
And the thing is, though, now, which is scary, and Malone mentioned this too, is Jokic is starting, and I don't know if you saw the press conference after with Jokic. When he answered 5 questions, he just started the press conference out, and he's like, I'm just going to answer your guys' questions.
I fucking love it. I saw a reel of it. Go ahead.
But then, he talks about Strother, and he's like, he's got to realize that when he gets on a run like that, the defense is gonna start buttoning up on you, and you got to start outletting then. Because he said, I guess, when you're a shooter like that and you're in a rhythm, it is hard to pass the ball up. But Jokic is like, that's something you got to learn, that the defense is going to be all over you now, which means somebody else is open. So you've got to be able to, outlet it to whoever.
Yeah.
And then he brought it up, same thing about Colin Gillespie. He's like, he's a great facilitator, but sometimes you just got to be more aggressive. Mm-hmm. And you saw that last night. Colin Gillespie had a couple drives to the basket where you're like, okay, yeah, I see what you could do.
Yeah.
And it's good to see the fact that this bench is going to get a little bit of a chance to blossom here in the beginning of the season rather than at the end.
And it's something that can't be said enough, and it doesn't really get put in the box score or any type of stats. But what I was telling you the other night, and I really see it from watching this team, where if the starters are kind of struggling, the bench, they're wanting to prove themselves. So they come through, and Christian Brown, Gillespie, and all these Strother, these guys come through and they give energy, and then when the starters come back through, they don't want to get showed out by the bench, so they start playing better. Yeah. And then it just creates a whole encompassing better team, really.
Yeah, it's nice. And like I told you last night, there is one point, I'm pretty sure it was Watson, Gillespie, Brown, Strother, and Najee all out on the floor.
Yeah.
And no veteran. And the thing was, it was always going to be one veteran out there with the second team. And I think last night Malone was even kind of like, all right, we got to let these guys play a little bit. But good to see. The Nuggets are now sitting at 7-1. Like we mentioned, the one loss was to the Timberwolves, who just gave the Celtics their first loss of the season. The Timberwolves are no joke with Ant and everybody healthy, Jaren Jackson, everybody. It's going to be a tough team to beat, especially come playoff time. But.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. There is... Did you say Jaren Jackson for the Grizzlies?
Timberwolves. Sorry, did I? Oh, shit.
Yeah, Jaren Jackson
Grizzlies. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. The Grizzlies actually don't look very good right now without Ja, which is great.
Well, we knew that was going to happen.
One last thing on the Nuggets, though. This is something I can't skip over because I'm not first take and just going to gloss over something like this.
The biggest point we wanted to make tonight.
Last night, Jokic recorded, his fourth or fifth triple-double this season?
And he's had a whole bunch of Sombor double-doubles, which is, one away from the triple-double.
But last night, he passed LeBron James, who was also tied with Jason Kidd for triple-doubles. Now, he's 30 away from Magic Johnson.
Yeah, and
not even 30 years old yet.
How many less games than LeBron James?
813 less
the greatest
games.
Player of all time in some people's minds.
82 games per season. That's roughly... like 7.9 seasons.
Yeah, less.
That's insane. To do that in 813 less games, I mean, it's not talked about enough.
Yeah, and we saw it. Everybody's like, oh, man, Jokic isn't, he doesn't care. He hasn't been thinking about basketball this entire offseason. He's been over in Serbia, just, living up with his horses. This dude comes back better.
Dude, when I was going through trying to share stuff to the page last night, I cracked up when I was laying in bed and saw this reel that was just LeBron hitting the weights. It was like this compilation where it would show Steph hitting the gym, then Dame lifting weights, and all these guys, these stars just hitting it hard in the offseason. And then it shows clips of Jokic
He's just
dancing, horse racing, chilling, doing front flips into a river while he's rafting.
Yeah.
That's his offseason. This game is so easy for him in the offseason. He wants to take his mind off of it.
Yeah, he's basically mastered it at this point.
He really is, man. And,
it's incredible.
Before we started this, and I was listening to the Bai's most recent podcast, that's something that he mentioned I thought was really cool because I've noticed it too. Jokic has been way more emotional this year, and good emotional, where he's been way more of a leader. He's not just like, sometimes he throws tantrums and some shit. I get it.
Not nearly as much.
Not nearly as much, but when it comes to just getting us excited if something good happens, like it creates a lot more morale for the rest of the team. So I love to see it.
Well, I mean, we got to talk about the steal he had. Who was it on? Brandon Ingram last night.
Oh, I missed that.
You missed it with the alley-oop to MPJ.
Oh, I did see the alley-oop. Yeah, I did see that.
He stole it from Brandon Ingram, dribbles down, and then just fucking... And then MPJ's like,
MPJ threw it down, man. Oh, yeah. That was a good one.
That pretty much ended that game. But that's enough time on the Nuggets.
Dude, I was just about to say, we could just go on and on about the Nuggets.
We might as well just have a Nuggets episode every week. Yeah.
Spin-off podcast.
Let's move into F1 right now. Let's get into a little bit of racing. He laid on my foot a little bit ago. All right, it's time for F1, and they were just down in Sao Paulo,
Brazil.
Yeah. And Verstappen wins yet again. We are basically broken records at this point.
I think the news that we just cover every time we talk about F1 is who got second.
Yeah. What was the race like after Verstappen took first?
Yep.
Verstappen wins his 17th race of the season, breaking his own record of 16, and every race he wins from here on out will break his own record in terms of most races won in a season. He is now the sole owner of fourth all-time with 52 Grand Prix wins. He is now behind Sebastian Vettel with 53, Michael Schumacher with 91, and Sir Lewis Hamilton sitting at 103. Verstappen this race ended up leading Lando Norris, who finished in second by 8.277 seconds. Still a pretty good, healthy lead. Lando Norris, while taking the second podium, or the second place on the podium, this is his 6th time this year that he has finished in second place. So the Lando and the McLarens are looking pretty good this year. They just keep finishing in second.
They just can't catch him. Yeah. Verstappen really fended him off. It was an early attack by Lando, right out of the gate. But I mean, once, like we've talked about, once Max gets in front, it's game over.
Yeah, once he's in front, you're just basically just trying to make sure you don't lose by more than 10 seconds. But
and then Aston Martin's Fernando Alonso finished 3rd, fighting off Max's teammate Sergio Perez.
Yeah, he raced out of his mind, took some pretty ballsy lines to get around him and then just to hold him off. So he ends up getting the 3rd place. And yeah, Ferrari ends up having another bad luck in terms of their finish and like where they ended up. Charles Leclerc in the formation lap where they all get into formation and drive around the track ends up losing all control of his rear end. His tires lock up and he slides off the track. And he just, they can't get back into it after that point. Ferrari is not looking the greatest right now, which is a bummer for them as they have always been a staple of F1, but it is what it is.
So he lost control of his rear end?
Yeah, I guess it was like a hydraulic thing. Something happened and his brakes like locked up and then he just slid right off the track. And then there was a pretty gnarly crash involving both of the Haas F1 cars and Alex Albon. He ended up slamming into one of them and then hitting the other one and sliding off the track. So that was pretty wild.
Yeah,
that was
crazy.
Like the first 5 laps. I think there was a red flag. So there is a little bit of a break before the Las Vegas GP, which I would highly recommend everybody tunes into.
Yep.
They are basically racing around the strip.
Yeah.
And it's like at 11 o'clock at night. So it's
my buddy
Drescher
Drescher's going to be covering it. Yeah.
Oh, really?
He does VFX there in Las Vegas, does all kinds of camera work and anything involving VFX. And yeah, I follow him on Facebook still. We were like real close in college, and this dude was so dedicated to his work. And man, seeing what he's doing in Vegas now, that show Daily Wager, he's worked for them there in Las Vegas. Shout out to you, Chris Drescher. And yeah, he's posted
Is he related
pictures.
to Fran?
No, you don't. But dude, it's nuts. He showed a map of it, and it's just like straight up right around the strip.
They used to have one in Denver. Same thing. It was like down in Denver on the streets.
Man, that must have been a while ago.
Yeah, it was probably over 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
But, so I would recommend tuning
That's 2
into
weeks
that one.
from now, right?
Yeah, 2 weeks. It is November 18th, so not this weekend, next weekend.
Cool.
You should talk to your friend and see if you can get him to come on.
Yeah, definitely will.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
So that's all I have for the F1. Do you have anything else to add to that?
That's it, man.
All right. Well, where do you want to go next? NHL?
Yeah, let's cover. We just got a few things to cover NHL.
Yeah, we'll be getting back into the NHL hot and heavy here now that the MLB has wrapped up. So hopefully next week we'll be able to back into the penalty boxes. So let's get into the NHL right now.
Hit it. I'm going to let Greg know it'll be 10 more minutes.
We're pretty close to being on time. Well, Chad texts Greg. I will start off at 34 years old. Max Pacioretty is looking to return to play for the Capitals this season. And normally you'd be like, oh, well, what's the point of telling us this story? Well, he just tore his Achilles for the second time. And Pacioretty signed a 1-year, $2 million contract with an additional $2 million in performance-based incentives with the Capitals on July 1st. And he initially tore his Achilles during the off-season training and underwent surgery to repair it August 10th, 2022. July 1st, 2022. Sorry, this was last year that he signed that contract extension. So August 10th, 2022, he ends up tearing his Achilles during off-season training, underwent surgery to repair it. And then he ends up tearing it again January 5th of last year. So big bummer for him, but he is looking to return. It's just crazy at 34 years old. I mean, we're seeing it right now with Aaron Rodgers and the miraculous recovery that he's having. He's saying it's going to be a few fortnights.
Weeks. Yeah.
He went fortnights, which is a wild thing to do.
Well, it's weird
because you hang out in caves and
the game last night. He said a few weeks they caught on mic'd up, but then he says a few fortnights, and a fortnight is 2 weeks. So he's saying 6 weeks there.
Yeah,
that's what that would be. But regardless, it ain't gonna fucking matter. The Jets ain't making the playoffs. So
they're going to, dude. Leave them alone.
No.
What else you got? You want to talk about the Penguins and the Ducks?
We're going to talk about the amazing Ducks, man.
The mighty, mighty Ducks. Did you see their throwback unis?
That's so cool,
They're
man.
pretty cool.
I fucking love those movies. Dude, I watched that movie so many times when I was a kid. But, the Ducks rally for their 6th straight win to snap the big bad Golden Knights. There you go, little man.
Mom's home. He's pumped.
Yep. The Golden Knights had won. They had a 12-game point streak as they were 11-0-1. And that was snapped by the Ducks.
Yeah, and the Golden Knights just beat up on the Avs too, which was sad. But
they walloped them 7-0.
The Ducks snapped their streak. They just beat up on. When was that? Was that
a couple of nights ago? 2 or 3 nights, I think. And then the next bit of news I got is the Penguins win 10-2, handing the Sharks their 11th straight loss, tying a record.
Yes.
I mean, if a team's this bad, don't you think like the NHL might step in and be like, we're gonna like demote you guys?
Yeah, it's like hockey over there, or
the
soccer over there in England, where like you suck, you can't fucking play here anymore.
Yeah,
so you're going down.
I think that's what I mean in the NFL and stuff to prevent tanking and shit. I think that'd be awesome, dude.
Yeah, it's just like if you suck enough,
you're gonna play the XFL next year,
or you got to go to college. You got to play. You have to play the winner of, or whoever ends up in first in the college football playoffs.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
I bet Oregon could probably beat the Bears.
Yeah, maybe. You never know.
Yep. We'll see, man. All right, that's all I got for NHL.
Yeah, let's get into MLB. Which one? We'll go
on a juvenile delinquent in the offseason in his major league debut.
Gonna light your ass up, meat.
Vaughn into the windup in his first offering. Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
Just a bit outside.
Yep. All right. Well, you guys all know what we're going to talk about.
The World Series.
Rangers won their first World Series.
Hello, Hannah. How are you?
Back.
Oh, my God. She got a Manny and a Patty. Double down.
Did you get the Manny, too?
No, just a Patty.
Oh, sweet looking toes.
Just a Patty.
Did you bring home Chipotle?
Nope, I'm cooking.
Oh,
in your
okay.
face.
That sounds too excited.
He was looking forward to Chipotle.
I was too, but I didn't want to drive anymore, so.
That's
all
fair.
good. No worries.
You just broke his heart.
You can put the cheese dip back in the fridge.
He was so pumped for the cheese dip. Just throw the fucking cheese dip away. I don't even fucking want it anymore.
Oh, wow. Guess it's probably better.
Yeah, so the Rangers win the most lackluster World Series in recent memory.
It was.
They win in 5 games, 4-1. End up winning the last 2 games. The game to clinch 5-0, and then in Game 4, 11-7, a 9-point run differential. They kind of, the Diamondbacks gave us hope that there was going to be a good series.
They did.
And then it wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, the Rangers really pulled through and just dominated the whole series. And, they won 11 straight road games in these playoffs. Is just fucking nuts and never happens. I mean, even in the regular season, teams can't go 11-0 on the road.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the energy and the momentum that they carried on is like something that's going to be memorable. But it's kind of ironic because it doesn't seem that memorable when nobody wanted to tune into it. It was the lowest viewership in 5 years for the World Series.
Yeah, I mentioned to you before we got going recording that the CU-CSU game actually had more viewers than the most watched game from this series.
And it's nuts, dude. I started to cut you off, but like I meant to tell you this earlier that, I watched, and I've said it many times on the podcast, more baseball than I have probably in my life this year.
Didn't watch any of the World Series.
Didn't watch any of the World Series. I mean, I've maybe watched for
It
like 10
sucked,
minutes
too, because-
every now and then. Every time I turn it on, the Rangers were up by like 6 runs.
Yeah, and then not to mention, like, when it kicked off, I think it was Friday night, the NBA was going. There's a bunch of shit going on.
Football going on, too. It's tough.
So, yeah, I think CU was actually playing that Friday, maybe. But,
let's give
yeah.
flowers to the guys that do deserve it. Corey Seager, who's going to go down as, like, up there with Reggie Jackson as Mr.
Already,
Playoffs.
yeah.
Yeah, his numbers are almost identical.
And he's the only player, I believe, to win a World Series on an American League and National League team.
Oh, no shit. I didn't know that.
So, yeah.
That's crazy. You mean like World Series MVP?
Oh, yeah. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Is MVP, because there's
Yeah.
been probably more than a few
Yeah,
guys
probably
in
a
the
couple of that.
100 years.
Well,
of
speaking of that, I
baseball.
was going to get into one of them. Will Smith, not the actor.
What?
Not
Who'd
the,
he slap now?
The super sensitive actor. Baseball player. And not the football player for the Saints.
There's too many Will Smiths,
There's a lot of Will
goddammit.
Smiths out there. He is the first. He's a relief pitcher for the Rangers. Won the World Series this year. Won the World Series last year for the Astros, and won the World Series the year before with the Braves. So basically, if you're in the majors and you want to
Just
win the World
sign
Series,
that guy.
sign Will Smith.
Yeah. Damn.
He's the
Just piss
the
his
wild
excellence.
card. He's the ringer. But now that Texas has won the title, there are now only 5 teams left that haven't won it. Chris, why don't you go ahead and name these?
I will, because the first one are my lowly Rockies, who may never win a World Series at the rate they're going. The Brewers probably have a way better chance than the Rockies. The Padres, if they keep spending money like they are, they gotta at least get
so.
there.
Yeah.
And then the Mariners and the Rays. So both Florida teams.
Yeah.
Just try. Or no, I'm sorry, Florida teams.
But we
Jesus
see what
Christ.
happens because
Seattle and Florida. Wow.
Yeah. 2 years ago, the
I know the map.
Rangers had lost 102 games, and then the last year they lost 68, and then they go and spend $500 million in free agency money. They got Max Scherzer, who didn't really do much for him, but they did go out and get Jacob deGrom, who got
He does
hurt.
have 2 different colored eyes, which
You always mention that, man. I don't know why you get so hung up on that, dude.
it's
like
weird.
It's like you're so obsessed
I'm sorry. If you had 2 different colored eyes, I wouldn't know
It's
which
so
one
hard
to
not
fucking
to
look
look
at.
at. I
I'd
know,
pick
it's
one
weird.
every day. Like I'm going to look at his brown one today and his
Switch.
blue one tomorrow.
Yeah, today you close one eye. Another note from this series. Bruce Bochy, I believe that's how you say his last
Bruce
name, right?
Bochy. Bruce Bochy.
Bochy,
Yeah.
thank you. Yep, this is his 4th World Series title. If anybody remembers when the Giants were winning all their World Series, from
I do.
2010, 2012,
They
2014.
just annihilated the Rockies through
Yep.
most of those years. So,
Oh yeah, he was the manager for all 3 of those World Series teams. So this is now his 4th one. So
Yeah,
damn
I
good
think-
manager there.
I think he's one of the few to have 4.
Yeah, I
but-
think when I was looking this up, he's like, there's only I think 4 or 5 other guys that's done that. Well, hats off to the Rangers. Congrats.
Yeah, indeed. Way to go, guys. You did it. You haven't done it before, so way to go on that.
Yep.
And now it's time for one of these other 5 teams to hopefully, in the next 50 years of existence of baseball, to win a World Series. We'll see if that happens.
Yeah, let's hope so. Well, Chris, let's
Yeah,
hit the
it's that
musical break.
time for the musical break, and then we're going to get Gregory in here for the news segment, which has happened a few times, but Steak and Acres with Gregors. The music guests, though, this week, if you are listening or watching after the fact, are the Deer Creek Sharpshooters, who will be the music guest all this month. The bass player for my band, the Born Readies, Daniel Puccino, is the bass player for this band, and they are a sweet bluegrass band, and the name of this song is Ivy Branch Trail. So stick around and listen, and we will be right back.
All right.
Chad will be right back.
I wanna be where the grass is green, where the river flows and the trees grow free. Ivy Branch Trail, take me home. Been on this road for way too long, gotta get back home where I belong. Ivy Branch Trail, take me home. Take me home, see my kin. Take me home, I don't know where. Ivy Branch Trail, take me home. Been following that old Deer Creek, it'll get me back where waters run deep. Ivy Branch Trail, take me home. No need to stop, I will survive. It's Eden here, the earth provides. Ivy Branch Trail, take me home. Take me home, see my kid. Take me home, I don't know where. Ivy Branch Trail, take me home. Take me home, see my kin.
And we are back. Second half of the show. We are at that point in the show where it is the shot of the turn. But before we get into the shot of the turn, I do want to mention, if you like what you heard from the Deer Creek Sharpshooters, please go and like and follow them on all things social media at Deer Creek Sharpshooters. You can also go to deercreeksharpshooters.wixsite.dcss, I believe is what it is. So you can go there and find out where you can download their music, where you can purchase their music, and where they are playing next. As always, we appreciate each and every band that lets us play their music on the show, and the Deer Creek Sharpshooters. We are very grateful for you guys. So appreciate you guys.
Yeah,
Chad, let's do this shot at the turn now.
I'm glad we're drinking this week.
Yeah. We got that Pendleton on lock right here if you want to see it. We need a sponsor, so Pendleton, if you're out there, let us know.
Check us out.
We'll gladly drink your libations for free.
That's right.
Cheers to you, sir. Cheers to all of you.
Nostrovia.
Paul and Vlad would be very happy with you.
They like when I speak Russian back.
Do you? Or do they? Do you speak to them? They like it?
I can say, thank you.
What is it?
I don't remember. But sometimes.
So you can't say it?
No, I don't have it memorized. But sometimes, I'll have Siri in my ear, and I'll be like, Siri, how do you say thank you in Spanish? But I didn't hear it. Or not Spanish, but in Russian. Yeah, and then they'll be like, oh, cool.
Yeah. The Mexicans like when I speak to them in Spanish. But then they hit me with now, though, I've gotten to this point. So we deal with a lot of Mexican guys at our work and Russians, which I think is very strange. This is one of the things that I find the most interesting.
That sounds about right, because a lot of the white boys' work, it's mainly ethnicities.
Yeah, ethnicities. And it's weird, though, that in the stucco and stuff business, a lot of Russians.
Yeah.
Which it's strange to me. It's just one of those things that I find fascinating.
I had no idea when I moved here that there is a huge Russian population.
Oh, yeah,
here.
there's big. One of the guys I used to work with at a tattoo shop dated only Russian chicks.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, there is a huge Russian community here. Did not know that.
When I lived with Josh over there, off Alameda or something.
In Russian land?
Yeah, it basically was, dude. It's off Hamden or something like that. There's just nothing but a Russian community. So,
yeah,
cool.
But yeah, the funny thing is though, once you throw out you can kind of say something. Sometimes they'll hit you you speak Spanish.
Yeah,
and then they'll rattle off sentences, and I can pick up some of it, but sometimes I'm just yep.
Yeah, I'll just say yeah,
you got
it. Muy bien.
Yeah, all right. Well, let's call Greg real quick. I'm gonna call him, and then we're gonna hit. Actually, I'm gonna hit this right now because I got new things for Gregory. So here it goes.
I ordered something. Steak and eggs. Rare and scrambled.
2 steak and eggs coming up.
We got steak and eggs coming up.
Gentlemen.
Mr. Gregors.
Moneybags Greg. What's up?
Yes, sir.
Man, I thought you guys forgot about me there.
No, we didn't. We always underestimate the time we should tell people.
We do that all the time.
Yeah. We're like, it'll be 45 minutes, and then we're like, it's been 50. We should probably let them know it's going to be 5 more minutes. So
hopefully you haven't been there just twiddling your thumbs.
Yeah, you were just patiently waiting for us to call.
You know what? That just means that you guys have a lot to say and good content, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, well, we do put a lot of work into this, surprisingly so. I take notes. I have like a page and a half of things written down for this episode. So, we put
do
in
our
the
homework.
Work. Yeah. Speaking of which,
I know you
do your homework, and we found out last week as you gave everybody the tip of the week, which was to bet the under on the old military game between Army and Air Force.
And did it pay off, man?
Damn it. I wasn't going to do it this episode, and I did it again. You couldn't hear that, Greg.
I mean,
it's okay.
What was the total of that game? It was only like 33 or something?
Well, the total was 31.5 is what was anticipated.
Uh-huh.
By the second half, there was 20 – before the second half, there were 26 points on the board.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So you have to imagine I was sitting there and I was like, well, that's
dead. Blown.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, it was always Army money line. I'm sitting there like, it was Army money line. Why did I see that coming? And sure enough, we have a scoreless second half.
Which is amazing.
Yeah, it's just like what you said with the last one, too. I mean,
it's gross is what it is.
Yeah.
It's gross.
6 turnovers will do that, though,
True. Yeah, 6 turnovers will do that.
It's hard to score when you are always just giving the ball back to the other guys.
Right.
But
so let me ask you, how much did you put on that?
I put my standard unit, $100. I'm a unit better.
I like your units.
I put my standard 5 on it, and it
Chad
hit.
put a $5 and won like 380.
Yeah.
So, and you probably won what, like 600?
Oh, it was at minus 110 last time I checked.
Oh, so it wasn't that much.
No,
but still, yeah. Regardless, you won on that one, and you were on the nose.
Yeah.
Even though we had to sweat it there before the second half started.
It was very sweaty.
Yeah.
We also talked about the Thursday night game, right? We were looking at, I think, George Pickens, and we were talking about Hopkins and his. I mean, Hopkins actually hit his number.
He did, and you were right with the Will Levis one. I said that was a tough odds at plus 250.
You keep saying Levitz, don't you?
It's
Levis.
Levis? Oh.
Levis.
Yeah,
Levis.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no T, but I appreciate
call him Will
you
Levi,
Yeah, I hear everybody call him Levi's.
Levi's?
Yeah.
Levi's?
Like, have you heard his name pronounced? I'm like, what?
Anybody at all? Does anybody know how this guy's fucking name is said?
Yeah, you were right on that one. He didn't have any touchdowns in that game.
Yeah, I didn't want to touch it. And that was another one where I said, hey, it's a primetime game. We should be taking unders.
Yep. And you were right on that one.
And the under hit.
Yep.
Yeah.
I did a parlay with 4 legs, and one of them was the Will Levis to hit the 2 touchdowns. And, yeah, I should have left that one out. I should have taken your advice, man.
Yeah.
So that
was a hard game to watch.
Yeah, it definitely was, just like last night.
You think that was a hard game to watch? Wait till Thursday night.
Oh, yeah. That's why I didn't want to even bring up any prop bets on Thursday night. We just figured, Greg, you're the master when it comes to these bets.
Degenerate gambler.
We're very novice. We just chip away tiny little $1, $3, $5 bets. What is your tip of the week for this upcoming week?
I've already got it locked in. All right, I placed this bet last night.
You got to get it early, dude. Otherwise, odds change.
Yep.
Yeah, it's Panthers Bears under 39.5.
Oh yeah, that's a.
So you're gonna fuck
there
with the Thursday night game under 39.5, which I
don't
don't know how either team is even going to score remotely half of that number.
No,
so
yeah.
there's no way they're getting to that.
There's no way. There's just no way.
No.
And so I suspect that number is going to drop closer to 37 or 36.
It probably will.
Yeah, I might have to put something in it before it goes down because that's smart, dude. I mean, what my uncle was trying to ask advice last week, trying to figure out if he should start Will Levis or not, and he wanted to start DeAndre Hopkins, and I told him, I said, these guys on these stars, they might get you 10, 15 fantasy points. You know, they're going to score points, but they're not going to have those games on Sundays. That's a 30, 40-point fantasy game. That's just not going to happen, man. And you see it, man. Like these guys on Thursday, it's
these
just
short weeks just fucking ruin football to some degree.
It does, man.
We love it, but it makes it worse.
It makes for boring football.
It does.
Well, and it's good. It's good at a flex option, right? When you're dealing with injuries and this and that, it's like, all right, am I gonna, getting that 10 points is a lot better than some of the other options that I'm seeing out there. But yeah, you can't. They're just not putting up the big plays. They're just slow moving games. They're all boring.
They really are. It's a bummer that these are the primetime games now.
Oh,
and
man,
you would think even this week with Thursday night and even Sunday night with the Broncos.
Let's just go over this. Sunday night.
Flex.
Yeah, we got the Broncos versus the Bills. Maybe we get an upset. I hope it's an upset.
Yeah, it could be, honestly. We don't know.
The Broncos are coming off a bye week. Then Monday night, we got the Raiders versus the Jets. Is that no? That can't be right. The Jets just played. Why am I forgetting this game right now? It is I think it's the Raiders.
I'll look real quick. But you know what's crazy? Speaking of the Broncos, if they do, since nothing got flexed, the Broncos will play on Sunday night and Monday night now, back to back.
Wow,
which is kind of weird.
What? Really?
Yeah. Wait.
No, because Chiefs
Monday
play
night
next
then
Monday.
Sunday night. I'm sorry.
Monday then Sunday.
Monday then Sunday.
So they play this upcoming week. The Buffalo Bills and Broncos is Monday night.
I think so, isn't it?
That's the Monday night prime time.
And then
game.
they're gonna play Sunday night football. So they're gonna play they're gonna get a little bit of a longer week and then immediately get a short week, which is pretty wild.
Now here's what I'll tell you about there are rules, right, to the unders. When you look at a matchup, primetime under matchup like Broncos and Bills, where they've both been well rested, to me that's going to be a shootout game. I'm not betting the under on that game.
And dude, I am not.
But what I'm hoping Vegas is setting the line as if it were.
Yeah. It's Jets versus Raiders. Yeah, that is the Sunday night game, Jets versus Raiders. So, all the primetime games are unfortunate.
That was the other thing. I saw Raiders were plus 1.5.
Yeah, I would have taken that. You just get that boost from having the interim head coach come in.
Yeah. Well, especially because they hated McDaniels so much. I mean, goddamn, they played like they couldn't wait to get that guy out of the stadium.
That poor bastard.
Yeah, I don't feel sorry for him at all.
I don't either after he ruined the Broncos. Fucking dick.
Yeah. But, I mean, I don't think the Broncos are going to win, but I think they're actually going to give the Bills a little more of a fight than what people think. Right now, it's Bills at 7.5.
I think maybe that's close, but I think the Broncos are going to keep it a little bit closer than that.
Yeah, but the thing you got to think of, and what do you think about this, Greg, is the Broncos have been really running the ball well, and that is the big kryptonite for the Bills this year.
Right.
Especially with Milano going out. Now they have nobody in the middle there.
And they have another linebacker that's hurt too.
And I was hoping I was going to look up their total points and it was going to be at like 42 or 44. It's at 47. So, I mean, even for a primetime game, the odds makers are showing that it's going to be a shootout. I think we're going to see – I think it'll be a high-scoring game. And I don't think it's going to be, it's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah,
fun to watch a primetime Monday game where people are scoring.
Dude,
it'll be good for fantasy owners.
I don't mean to make this a little bit of a homer segment for us Broncos fans, but you realize if they pull off beating the Bills, the only other game that's I would probably put at like a 75% chance as a loss is the Lions. They could, in theory, beat the Bills, beat the Vikings, beat the Browns, beat the Texans. You might split with the Chargers, but then Lions, Patriots. I'm telling you, dude, there's a chance the Broncos could literally be sniffing a fucking wild card spot at the end of this year. I'm telling you right now, dude. I'm telling you right now.
There's like 3 or 4 of those teams. The Browns have like the best defense in the league.
Yeah,
the Lions are definitely going to be.
Who's quarterback? Is Deshaun going to be okay?
Yeah,
Is he
Deshaun had a decent game last week.
Did he get his massage that week?
That's what made the difference, man. They finally let him get his third-party massages.
Texans, is Stroud going to throw fucking 450 yards and 5 touchdowns every week? I don't know. Chargers end up usually screwing themselves more often than not. You got 2 games against them. I'm just telling you. And then the Patriots.
You never know with the Patriots,
I'm just telling you, dude. We could end up second place in the AFC West. It's possible.
Well, I'm glad you included second place.
And then
we're not going to get first, but I mean, we already beat you guys once. We're just not saying we're going to do it again in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Hey,
Chris, I know you're not watching us, but man, he has drank this whole bottle of whiskey apparently.
Nah, I'm fucking sober as a lark, dude. I'm ready to go. I'm just, I'm high on life.
Yeah, I dig it, man. I dig it.
Anyways, enough Homer stuff.
So that's your tip of the week. Bet the under on the Thursday night game, which is set right now at 39.5.
Depending on where you look.
Yeah, and
shop around.
The mentionables would be taking the Las Vegas Raiders money line, kind of like that.
Okay.
And I also got it's probably a little late for most, but I took Detroit Lions. I placed this on yesterday morning. I got them at -1.5 before the Chargers kickoff game. The line's now moved to 2.5.
Yeah, I see it. It is at 2.5 now.
1.5 is a good grab there.
It is tough because it's in LA, but yeah,
it's the Chargers, dude. They don't have home field advantage.
No, I know, but the Lions are coming off of a bye too, and they're going to be getting David Montgomery back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. The Lions coming off of a bye. The other thing is the Chargers. I thought they might have gotten beat. I thought they were going to get beaten up a little bit more. So I was worried that maybe there'd be some injuries going into that, and then it also being a short week for them against Detroit. I was like, yeah, give me Detroit with only 1.5 points, easy. I see them winning by a field goal at least.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Especially, like we said, with Montgomery coming back, who was just scoring out of his mind there in the beginning of the year. So, All right, man. Yep. Before we let you go, we want to talk about it.
Oh yeah,
the tournament that you're going to be playing in. Is it this week or next week?
No, so this is in January.
Oh shit! Wow, I thought it was way sooner than that. Damn. But no, that's still cool. No. You're going to be playing against Johnny Manziel, though.
Johnny Football
himself.
Johnny Football.
Now Johnny Golf.
He's an honorary member at Mesa Country Club, where I'm a member at. And
does that just mean that he's rich and doesn't have to pay to be a member, and you do?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
that's cool.
About whether it's about rich, I think it's that he.
He's
PR
famous enough to be like, I don't have to pay to.
Well, he talked to you not too long ago, right? Didn't you tell us about that? Or he said you guys looked all dapper?
Yeah, my cousin and I went to the 75th anniversary dinner party at the club. And as we were walking in, he was walking out. We were going to go watch the World Series game. We went a little early, and I opened the door, and he goes, well, don't you guys look dapper? And we're like, thanks, Johnny.
He's like, would you like an autograph for $500?
For $500. How'd you shoot? I shot terrible. Would you like to buy an autograph? So
How about an autograph to make you feel better? It's only $500.
I liked your documentary on Netflix, man.
Oh, it's a good one if you haven't seen it. I'm sure everyone has. But still,
it was all right.
But yeah, so he's an honorary member, which means that he's more famous than the rest of us and that the club needs him. And they just want our money. And so it'll be January. It's the men's invitational, and it'll be excited. I'm definitely going to try and gamble with him aggressively.
Yeah, you should, because he loves to do that, and he's got the money to do it as well.
Mm-hmm.
For a while, anyway.
We'll see if he'll gamble away that Heisman before the NCAA.
I'll bet you the Heisman.
I love that you think that he still has that.
Yeah, that's probably right.
Yeah, he probably sold that shit. That's hilarious.
Yeah,
he
lost that.
That was one of the first things to go. All right, buddy. Well, we'll let you go and get on to your night now that we're on the same time schedule. It is after 7, so we will let you get to your evening, and we appreciate you hopping on, as always. And now you are an official segment of the show, so I hope you're ready for that.
We appreciate the betting tips, man.
Hey, as long as we can stay hot, that's all that matters.
That's true.
That's what we do,
sizzling. Stay hot to trot. All right, buddy. You have a good night, man. We love you. We'll talk to you soon.
See you, Greg.
Good night. Love you. Later.
Tudes.
All right.
All right. That's going to do it for Mr. Gregory Maher. Let's get into the deep dives. What would you like to hear, Chad? We got a bunch of stuff now. So it's like...
let's hear Adam Sandler.
Okay. All right. Give me a second here.
390. Check. Check. Red 18. Red 18. Needle dick. Needle dick. Needle dick.
That's right. You're all needle dicks when Bobby Boucher is staring at you across the line.
Let's go, needle dick. All right, Chris, I think you kicked it off last week.
Are you going to kick it off this week? All right. Take us to the deep dive.
This is one thrilling game here. We had Tampa Bay at the Houston Texans. What a thrilling game here. 37-39, the Texans pull away in the last few minutes. All right, and what I've got this game titled as is Stroud locks up the Rookie of the Year. I don't see anybody fighting him for it. But story of this game, Houston lost their kicker. Like we mentioned earlier in this episode, Kaimi Fairbairn hurt his quad, and they had to lean on their backup running back, Dair Ogunbowale. Chris said it way better.
That was good.
Ogunbowale to kick the winning field goal.
Yeah.
The amount of pressure on him to go in there and kick a winning field goal.
And that special teams coach about had an aneurysm celebrating after the fact, too. He went like, ah!
I bet he fucking went nuts.
Yeah, it was very guttural.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty crazy because if you look at the box score, you really wouldn't think that the game ended like this. But, I mean, I was watching this game on Red Zone. It was super exciting. Tampa led at half, 17-10, and then right after half, they come out. They lead a drive down, kick a field goal, go up 20-10, and then after that, Stroud takes over. He then outscored the Bucs 29-17. I mean, this game was just out thrilling from the gate, but the second half, it was just complete madness. I mean, Kaimi Fairbairn being out, the running back, I'm not going to try to say his name again, was kicking extra point, or doing the kickoffs. And then Stroud took the Texans 75 yards in 40 seconds to win the game in the final minutes. It was the 4th and goal, and they couldn't kick a field goal. So what's he do? Hits Dalton Schultz on a beautiful placed ball.
Yeah, one other thing, too, on that last drive, he basically told the offense when they huddled up, he's like, if you give me time, I'm going to make them pay.
Yeah.
Which is super badass.
It's so badass, dude. I heard that, and I was like, dude, this guy is not a rookie, man.
I will make them pay.
He is here. He's him.
Is here. Yeah. He is him.
In a world.
One man,
we're
one
the
mission. C.J. Stroud.
Yeah. But, I mean, dude, the story of this game, too, is, like, the Bucs just completely falling apart on defense. I mean, it's crazy to think this is a Todd Bowles-led defense that, you know, just a few years ago, even just a couple years ago, was a top-tier defense, and they still have a lot of the same guys. But they just don't really seem to be playing as a unit like they used to. 3 players for Houston win over 114 yards receiving. Stroud, as we've talked about before, I think we've already mentioned some of the stats, 470 yards passing, breaks a rookie record, 5 TDs, 147 passer rating, and 0 interceptions.
Yeah.
Unbelievable game. And then you had Rachaad White on the other side. Finally had a really big breakout game. He had like 27, I think, fantasy points. Had over 100 yards, scrimmage yards, I think 2 TDs. Really good game from him. They have a little bit of a run game going there in Tampa. But, yeah, it was just Tampa's defense that couldn't close out the game, really, you know, because, I mean, Baker did lead a drive down to take the lead with, like, less than 2 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
And then Stroud went down to take it over.
Yeah, that was the one we were talking about. Like you mentioned, so, yeah, 3 guys go over 100 yards. Tank Dell, 6 receptions, 114 yards, 2 touchdowns. Dalton Schultz, 10 receptions, 130 yards, 1 touchdown, and Noah Brown, 6 receptions, 153 yards, and 1 touchdown. So, yeah, when you've got receivers and, you know, a tight end like that, you're going to get you over, almost 500 yards of offense. It's insane.
Yeah. A damn good game from the Texans. And, I mean, D'Amico Ryans took over for this team at the beginning of the year, and went out through and made a real big splash in the draft by drafting C.J. Stroud. Luckily, the Panthers fucked up and took Bryce Young. And then they traded their other pick to get the third pick and got Will Anderson. So, I mean, they've got a decent defense. But next week is when the real test comes because they go to Cincinnati to face the red-hot Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow is back. Yeah, the calf is no longer an issue, so we'll see how that goes. Should be a good game.
Jamar Chase is really shaking up.
He's got a bad back.
Bad back.
He needs a bacchiotomy.
It's my spine.
It's my spinal.
It's my spinal.
It's spinal.
I broke my back.
It's Jamar Chase right now.
My back is broken.
What part,
What part, Jamar?
What portion?
Spinal.
Spinal.
That's what he's telling Zach Taylor.
All right, well, let me get into my deep dive, and I'm going to take you guys into the depths of the Minnesota versus Atlanta game. Minnesota ends up winning this game 31-28. And it's all due to a guy who hadn't even been on the team less than 5 days ago. Josh Dobbs barely knows his teammates, let alone the playbook. That didn't matter as he was thrown into the fire. And he described it as such, saying, learn as you go, hair on fire, hold on to your seat type of game, which was filled with plenty of obstacles to overcome. His first series of plays began at their own 7 and ended with a third down sack by Calais Campbell, which a lot of you are probably surprised to hear he's still playing football at this point. That sack was for a safety early in the second quarter, giving Atlanta the 5-3 lead. Nonetheless, Dobbs throws 2 touchdowns, including the touchdown to Brandon Powell that put the Vikes ahead for good with 22 seconds remaining, which was shortly after Tyler Allgeier's 5-yard touchdown, which gave the Falcons the lead with 2 minutes and 8 seconds remaining. Not to mention, Dobbs was also the leading rusher for the Vikings, 7 carries, 66 yards, and a touchdown. That touchdown was an 18-yard rushing touchdown, which helped tie the game.
Yeah, that was a really important run.
Huge run. After he completed a 2-point conversion to Tristan Jackson, I think they basically, what was the score? That was after they passed him right there. Dobbs does it all without knowing anything at all in terms of the Vikings and their ways. This was supposed to be the coming out party for rookie Jaron Hall, who during the week took all of the first team practice reps and snaps. Unfortunately for him, he leaves in the first quarter with a concussion, hence the need for Dobbs' heroics. Head coach Kevin O'Connell had lost his voice by the end of the game and later explained that he was doing his best to walk Dobbs through every snap the best he could in order to explain the plays as they went. There was actually a scene on the sidelines when he was about to come in where he was there with the whole offensive line trying to run just dry snaps with him doing his cadence so that they could actually get used to hearing what they were about to hear for the rest of the game. So seeing them overcome that was nothing short of amazing, and for them to come out with a win is just nuts.
Nothing short of a miracle. I mean, for him to not showing up on Wednesday, not even knowing a lot of these guys' names, never taking a single snap from the center.
No, like we said, Jaron Hall was supposed to be the guy this week. So,
and a lot of people out there who might be casual fans do not understand how much detail it goes into running an offense when it comes, like you said, the cadence, getting the ball snapped, what the plays are called, and to go out there and just win a game like this, it's a lot. It's a testament to his dedication, perseverance, and playing backyard football, basically. Scrambling around and getting
that's basically
TDs.
what he's doing. I mean, there's no real, you're just hoping guys are where they're supposed to be. And, it's not like he had the entire team with him. Justin Jefferson, as we all know, still on IR. KJ Osborne is carted off the field following a hit from D. Alford, who ends up getting a personal foul for that hit. Where am I? Oh my God, I just got lost. I'm back. And running back Cam Akers, like we mentioned, tears his Achilles in the fourth quarter. O'Connell proceeded to give game balls to all of the players, saying, I don't know if I've ever been a part of one like that. describing it as the ultimate team win. On the other side of the field, the Falcons were dealing with their own quarterback change as Heineke was made the starter Wednesday after having to take over in the second half of last week's game when they benched Desmond Ridder after he took 5 sacks and lost a fumble. So the Desmond Ridder experience is over.
Yeah, thank God.
He's going to retire at the ripe age of 35 as a second-year quarterback. That's a joke. He's probably only 25 years old, but he looks older than we do.
He's got Benjamin Button disease or something.
Not the good kind.
Yeah.
The Falcons did their best to limit the pressure put on by Heineke by running the ball as much as they could, including 12 of the final 13 plays. Algier had 5 consecutive runs during that stretch, and which ended up with that touchdown that I mentioned earlier. Heineke did what he could, including throwing a 60-yard touchdown to Jonnu Smith, who Jonnu Smith surprisingly has been significantly better than Kyle Pitts, who was supposed to be the next end-all, be-all tight end.
First-round pick.
Yeah, first-round pick. Now being outplayed by Jonnu Smith, who came over from, was it the
Patriots, who then came from the Titans.
The Titans, yep, that's where he was last. So, yeah, he's having a breakout season this year with the Falcons, but, after that touchdown from him, from Heineke, which gave the Falcons a 21-13 lead in the third quarter, that was about it for them.
It's crazy, man. It's such a wild game to see somebody step in there like that. 'Cause I had Atlanta's defense. I saw that this guy Jaron Hall was going to start. I was like, I'll start Atlanta's defense. They're going to crush this rookie quarterback. And then as soon as he got hurt.
I mean, they technically did.
Yeah.
You were right.
But then as soon as Dobbs came through, I was like, oh, shit, man, this guy's – because I saw what he did on Arizona, man. I mean, the guy just
dude's a baller.
refuses to lose. And I respect
when you don't
that
have
a lot.
eyebrows, you can ball out of control. You know what I mean? Yeah. Alopecia's a bitch, but –
mad respect to the dude. Yep.
All right, well, that's going to wrap it up for the deep dives. We do have some UFC to get into.
Yep.
Oh, my God, I've lost it. I found it.
Cool.
Let's get it on!
That's right. UFC 295 is this weekend.
Yep.
If you are going to order it on pay-per-view, be prepared to spend the $69.99 in order to get it.
Yep.
But if you aren't, there are other nefarious ways to watch it.
It is in the United States this time.
Yeah, you don't have a weird start time.
Madison Square Garden, regular time, everywhere 8 p.m. Mountain Time. But as we all know, John Jones and Stipe Miocic got scrapped from this because John Jones tore his pectoral ligament. So
Had to get surgery.
Going to be out for
Surgeries.
8 months. Sucks. So
That's a gnarly injury.
the co-main event gets promoted to the main event, which is Yuri Prochazka versus Alex Pereira for the light heavyweight title.
Yeah, and in this fight, Pereira is favored minus 130 to Yuri Prochazka.
Oh, wow, that's
plus
close.
110.
It's almost a coin flip then. That's close.
Yeah, it could go either way as far as Vegas is looking at it. But yeah, I'm interested to see what goes on in this fight because, like we said, Pereira going up was the best thing for him, and I think that's why he's probably favored right now.
I bet so. Yeah. Excuse me, but it's going to be tough to tell. These guys are both strikers in their nature. My pick is Yuri Prochazka because I think this guy is just an absolute animal. Doesn't really train with anybody. Is like almost that blood sport type character that just trains by himself.
He literally almost has the same haircut as that guy. It's
Kinda.
like a shaved head to here with like just the man bun long.
It's not even like a bun. It's almost like a ponytail kind of thing.
Yeah, it's,
but,
it makes you worried about what's going on inside of his mind.
Yeah,
because to have a haircut like that, you got to be wild.
So is Pereira. It's really tough to tell, but I think I'm going to take Yuri in this one.
Yep.
But then in the co-main event, we got a fight that got put on this card because of the John Jones getting one scrapped. So they need to have someone that's going to hold the title, and so now this is an interim title belt. Sergey Pavlovich from Russia, versus Tom Aspinall from United Kingdom.
Yeah, great, but and then
I don't
Tom
think
Aspinall.
Anybody realizes how hard Sergey Pavlovich hits. If there's
He's a big old white dude,
huge. I mean, if Ivan Drago was in the MMA, that's what he would be. This guy is. Trying to look up. He's 18-1, 6'3", 260. I mean, Tom Aspinall's no, pushover by any means, but Sergey, dude, I've watched a lot of his fights. Man, it's like he's just got bricks in his hand. This guy is a killer. He's definitely he's got a 6-inch reach advantage too. Damn. Wow, that's crazy too, because Tom Aspinall's 2 inches taller. That always blows me away how that math works out.
Yeah, there's always those people with just freakishly long
That's
arms.
like Volkanovski.
I've got short arms, What are you going to do?
Volkanovski's really short, but his reach advantage is because his limbs are so long.
Yeah, it's just like those basketball players. It's like Michael Porter Jr. has like over a 7-foot wingspan. He's only 6'10".
Yeah, I think Wimbyama could just take flight if he flapped his arms.
Wimbyama has like a 12-foot wingspan.
He's like the condor. He's the real condor. Pterodactyl. Well, needless to say, Pavlovich is my pick in this one. I think Aspinall is definitely a damn good fighter, but I think if any of Sergey's punches land, then it's lights out.
Yeah, I mean, Sergey is sitting there at number 2. Tom Aspinall is sitting at number 4. I'm going to pick Tom Aspinall just because I like the way he speaks.
Cool.
So
very British.
Very British. So that's my, very thought out breakdown of that fight.
Nice.
The other big fight, though, is the women's strawweight bout, which is going to be the third fight: Jessica Andrade versus Mackenzie Dern.
Yeah.
Both from Brazil.
Yeah, that's true.
Looking at the pictures, I would have assumed Mackenzie was from here. So
I know, it kind of surprised me.
It
is really wild. There are a lot of kind of like whitish looking Brazilian people.
Yeah, they're a little bit lighter.
Yeah,
it's just like the people from Spain.
Yeah.
Basically.
As soon as they start speaking Portuguese, you're
shit!
Like, oh, whoa! What?
Hitting me with that Latin persuasion all of a sudden.
Mackenzie Dern's ranked number 7th, and then Jessica is number 5th, number 5th.
Number 5th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th.
I plead the 5th. Yeah, but I'm gonna take Andrade on this one. She's just built like a pit bull. I think she's Mackenzie Dern's got a big reach advantage, but I think Jessica Andrade, her grappling is way better. And I think if she takes Mackenzie Dern down, it's gonna be a ground and pound win for her. But
ground and pound.
That's really all of the notable fights we can kind of really mention. I mean, I'm pretty big into UFC, and there's not really any guys on here that I can kind of point out and kind of
I just want to say, just at a glance, Diego Lopez versus Pat Sabatini. I'm going to take Pat Sabatini just because of Diego Lopez's haircut.
You see that haircut?
That
looks so
haircut.
weird, man.
So, if you just gonna bet based solely off of looks, bet for Pat Sabatini, and he is actually favored. So I think the haircut literally Vegas has knocked Diego Lopez down. So,
it's like a comb-over haircut.
That's my deep breakdown of the Diego Lopez versus Pat Sabatini
back in the day.
Like emo accountant who worked at a bank but really loved the band Finch.
Nice.
All right, well, that's going to wrap it up for the UFC 295 breakdown. We usually just try and do the top 2 to 3 fights, depending, unless there's some really good ones in the prelims or anything like that. But on this one, not too many.
Yeah.
Which, again, I still feel like the fight nights are better fights than the fucking pay-per-views at this point.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm looking forward to the main event. Yuri Prochazka versus Alex Pereira.
Yes, indeed. Well, that's it for the majority of the show, but we've got one more thing for you. And that is when the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Grip It and Rip It, a.k.a. John to the motherfucking Daily, is going to hit it hard for us right now. And we're going to give you a little bit of Parsons magic, if you will. So stick around. We will be right back. And we are back for the final time of episode 59 of Fringe Fanatics. If you are, sticking around this far, you just heard John Daly hit it hard, man. And we are about to hit you hard with a daily dose of excellence. And Chad this week is going to bring you a little bit of hometown flavor.
That's right.
Yes.
Couldn't wait to hand this one out. I'm going to take the place of John Daly and give out the daily dose of excellence to my hometown, Parsons Vikings.
Parsons!
And originally when I sent this message to Jeff, the head coach, he's such a humble coach, and it's such a good thing to say. I said, man, I just want to get the clearance to make sure I bring them up on the podcast, shed some light on it. He said the right thing, just as good coaches do. He says, dude, I appreciate that, but if anything, I want you to highlight the players and not me. And I think that's cool, but I can't help, dude. I'm still going to, mention Jeff, because this is a guy that I went to
his flowers.
Middle school with, dude. He came from a big Irish family, dude, and there was nothing but athletics in his family.
Yeah.
Just, football, basketball in their blood. His brother played college ball. His older brother played D2 college ball for Pitt State. They just have sports in their blood. And Jeff was a year younger than me. And this dude came through, and he played on our middle school basketball team, and this dude was just a stud at anything he did. And it made so much sense to me when he took over as Parsons head football coach 3 years ago. Since then, they've had 3 straight winning seasons. And this year, on Friday night, why I wanted to nominate them is because they beat Prairie View to win the regional round of the KSH, basically the 3A playoffs on Friday night. And that puts them at 9-1 for the season, and now they're going to advance to the quarterfinals this upcoming Friday. But this is the most wins the Parsons Vikings has had since 1975. And to me, it's just amazing, because this is a team that has pretty much always been mediocre. A lot of my friends from high school are probably talking shit on me right now because I went to Labette County, the rival school, 10 minutes away. And
how dare you?
My senior year, we did beat the Vikings, and it just always went back and forth. But, since Jeff took over, the Vikings have been for real. And they have a player on their squad that is a running back that reminds me of Derrick Henry, dude. The local news station does a live feed for them on Friday nights of the games, and so I tuned in from Facebook to watch it, and it was unbelievable. I've watched some highlights of this kid this year, but his name is if anybody out there wants to correct me, please, but I believe it's Jamarian Washington, and the kid is I had it pulled up, 6'2", 215 pounds.
Jesus.
Yeah, a fucking high schooler, man. Just running over kids. Listen to his stats from this state playoff game. 223 yards with 4 touchdowns.
Dang.
There were so many plays where I saw him.
Road grader.
It looked like the play was dead. He pushes the line through,
and
gets to the second
out.
level, and then you see him dragging safeties and cornerbacks. This kid, I asked Jeff about it. He's being recruited by JUCO schools. I wish him nothing but
JUCO?
best. I know. Well, dude, listen to this.
Dude.
Brandon Jacobs. Remember Brandon Jacobs from the Giants? He went to Coffeyville Community College, just like 40 minutes from Parsons, and then went on to go play D1.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
There's so much a chance, dude. This kid, I'm watching him, and he's got NFL talent. Then their quarterback, he had a great game, 14 of 19 passing for 266 yards and 3 TDs. They beat, I don't even know if I mentioned the score. So I was watching this game, and it was 22-22 at halftime. And they were playing Prairie View, who led all 3A schools in the state in rushing. Chris, do you know what the formation's called? It's not wishbone, but it's like you got your quarterback, and then you place 3 halfbacks behind them in a line. I was trying to think.
In a line? Shit, I don't know.
It's like,
I think you're talking about like the T or.
It is kind of like the wishbone T. It's a variation of the wishbone where
they're sitting behind him in a line like
3, not
like
offset.
in a row, not I.
Yeah.
Like
all in a row. I believe it's like a wing, not wing T, but I think that could be what it is.
I think it is the wing.
But yeah,
I can't remember now though.
They had 2 of them were sophomore running backs, and then they had another guy, but they led all of 3A in rushing, and Jeff's defense shut them down. Second half, it was 22 at half, and then after that, they shut them out in the second half, and ended up.
And it is 11 on 11, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because there's 8 on 8.
That's smaller schools.
Yeah, well, I wasn't sure D3 or
3A. They 3A. Still. Even in 2A, I think they. In 2A they play 11 man, but it's mainly like real small schools.
Yeah.
There's a really tiny town close to Parsons called St. Paul, and they play 8-man football.
We've got a 8-man team here that's like fucking one of the best in the country. I think.
Most times they are like the best because there's not too many schools that do it. So if you're gonna do it,
you
might as well be pretty good at it.
There's not too many of you.
Yeah, but man, I just give so much credit to Jeff because he pours so much into this squad, and like he said, I'm not gonna just make this about him. The kids he's got on this squad, I mean, man, they go out and they shut this damn good team down from the second half, blank them, and then it ended up being 50-22. The offense just exploded. Yeah, and one thing
30 points unanswered.
When I started following. When he took over as head coach, he implemented way more of an advanced offensive system where you see a lot of the RPOs, a lot of almost like NFL type run stuff. I mean, you see the stuff more in 5A, like big schools when you got the fast guys to kind of do it. But he's implementing this stuff where it's big plays, explosive plays, and the quarterback Trey Mack is just hitting these big plays to kind of do it. I mean, it's super impressive. I wish them all the luck this Friday. They're playing Topeka Hayden.
Topeka.
Big school.
Topeka, Kansas, man.
But they are going to Parsons, so bring the heat, guys.
Shit. Well, while it is all about the players, it is a thankless job being a high school coach.
Yep.
These guys aren't making, unless you're in Texas,
right.
They ain't making shit.
Yeah.
It's probably your second job. You're probably got something else you're doing more often than not. So big ups to him just for taking the time to pour his heart and soul into this and to be a good role model for these kids, because at the end of the day that's the big thing is a lot of kids growing up, you play sports and stuff, usually everybody has one coach that were like, man, that guy fucking changed my life, and so I'm sure he's going to be that guy for a lot of these kids, and that's the most important thing.
I'm sure he will. One thing to take from this, a quote from that game afterwards when he was interviewed, they said, He went on to say, the word that comes to mind when I think of tonight is resiliency. Our kids weathered the storm in the first half. Prairie View came out fired up, but we squeezed the box in at halftime and dared them to beat us on the perimeter. That just goes to show it's great coaching. This is a team, Prairie View, that was all about rushing the ball, and he realized, okay, if we could just stop the run,
we schemed them.
We can stop this. And that's a good sign of great coaching and getting the players to perform, and my hat's off to them. Wish them nothing but the best. I really hope they go on. And this says something because I'm a Grizzly. But to me, I love
You're
the
changing allegiances.
You've
thrown your alma mater to the side. You've basically, hold
on. You're going way too, and you can't even finish what you're trying to say. I went to school with Jeff at St. Patrick Catholic School from young age, and see him grow up and do this. Take the S, and what I root for is SEK. There, dude, wow, your brain is that slow. It took you that long
30 seconds later.
Jesus, man. Lay off the weed.
It happens, man.
Yeah, no, I applaud any of the teams from SEK except for Columbus and any of the other ones, Iola, mainly just Parsons and Labette County. But that's just it. Is Labette County, they don't put any money, they don't put any effort into their football program. It's sorry year after year. And to see what Parsons has done, and I know I'm going on and on about this, but the thing of it is like, I'm friends with Jeff on Facebook, and to see him in the summer get those kids out there at 6 a.m. and to have them doing the weightlifting and the training camp,
two-a-days,
see all of them performing, then dude, it's just super impressive.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, hats off to him and cheers to him as we have finally reached the end of this episode.
That's right. Good luck Friday night. Kick Topeka's ass.
Yes, kick Topeka's ass.
All right.
This one's to Parsons. What's the name of school again?
Parsons Vikings.
Parsons Vikings? It's just the Parsons Vikings. Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Here's the Parsons Vikings. You guys go out there and dominate. Screw Topeka.
Yep.
Little towns rule, big towns drool.
Run over them, Jamarian.
Yes. Here's to you guys. Cheers. Cheers to you, Chad. Episode 59 in the books. Jeeks, you owe me 3 Cokes.
Drink responsibly, friends.
Yes, drink responsibly. We have reached the end of the episode. If you made it this far, please like, share, subscribe, and follow us on all things social media at @Fringe_Fanatics. And if you have made it this far as well, rate us 5 stars.
Hit that like button, hit the share button, subscribe.
Hit that bell, ring it so you get the notifications. We will catch you guys next week as always. Love you guys.
Love you.
Toodles.